top 10 criminals in the Philippines. Here's a list you would not want to volunteer yourself to be part of. Outlaws have always had their own stories to tell. Many of these people who belong here have become legends in some sort of way. I believe these people could have become useful contributors to society. Presenting the top 10 criminals in the Philippines for all time. Number 1. Baby Alma. Marcial Perez Ama. Baby Alma got his moniker because of his baby face good looks. Born poor in the streets of Tondo, Manila, he soon found his way to jail for thievery. However, the final straw that broke the camel's back was when his pregnant wife was allegedly raped by a prison guard, an event which pushed her to commit suicide. With all the hate inside of him, Baby Alma rose to become the leader of Side Gang, a group which under his leadership took part in the largest jail riot against a rival gang Ocso in Muntinlupa, which ended in 9 prisoners dead with 1 beheaded. Although pardoned and his sentence was commuted to life, Baby Alma was still electrocuted in 1961. He was 16 years old. Number 2. Nadong Piyush. Leonardo Melecio was a Filipino gangster from Cavite Province. Nadong Piyush's name started hitting the headlines while still young, as one of the alleged participants in the Maragondon massacre, a bloodbath where the mayor along the police chief and several police. Malicio famously credited his ability to survive and escape numerous ambushes and gunfights to his anting amulet. Eventually sentenced to 182 years imprisonment, he escaped again in 1969 and rose to become Cavite's public enemy number 1 as the leader of a notorious gang operating drugs, smuggling, carnapping ring. After a massive manhunt, the long arm finally caught up with the Robin Hood of Cavite and was killed inside his red Impala car by a rain of bullets coming from 20 NBI. Number 3. Warlito Toledo. This one is from Cebu, and it seems he has a boundless appetite for raping women. Rumor has it that Warlito has supernatural powers and is bent on raping and slaying 40 people a day. He has stricken fear so much in the ordinary Cebuanos that his posters bearing his photo are spread all over the island. For the record, a string of suits involving rape has been filed against him. Warlito was never put to jail. One good thing that came out of the Warlito tales is that the police are finding it easy to implement the ordinance that bans minors from staying out from midnight to 4 a.m. Number 4. Asean Salonga. Nicasio Rodriguez Salonga, lawbreaker from Tondo, Manila, a notorious gang leader. Asean Salonga struck fear in the very heart of Tondo, going against rival gangs operating in the area. A host of crimes including murder and homicide have been attributed to him, but he always manages to come out clean. On October 7, 1951, while out drinking after a baptism, he was gunned by a henchman of a rival group. He was only 27. Number 5. Graco Butch Belgica. Butch was one of the youngest gang leader in the underworld and was convicted in a sensational homicide case. He was a radical that was indoctrinated by the communists. However, his story had a happy ending, as he soon found his calling in serving God. He spent his prison days writing exposing the injustices of the system from within. Number 6. Bing Bong Vincent Piche Crisologo. Now here's another lawless man turned into a man of the law. Born to a good family, Bing Bong is the son of the governor of Ilocos but soon made headlines, spreading terror all over the province in a spate of crimes. He was eventually imprisoned in Muntinlupa after sentenced to double life imprisonment for arson. Things turned out well for him, however. He had a change of heart while in prison, and eventually he served his people, becoming the congressman of the 1st District of Quezon City. Number 7. Tumbling Benjamin Garcia was a Filipino gangster and one of the most notorious criminals in the Philippines. A resident of Malabon, he derived his nickname Ben Tumbling from his job before as a stuntman. His skill later helped him to evade policemen trying to arrest him. His exploits have come to include robberies, drug trafficking, and murder. To his account, 7 policemen have been shot dead. Hailing from Malabon, he soon gained notoriety as the feared policeman killer. His hatred with police was said to be started when he experienced torture from the hands of the police during his younger years after he was charged of a crime allegedly he didn't commit. However, reports stated that it was intensified when some of the policemen raped his wife. As fate would have it, Ben's acrobatic life ended on Friday, the March 13, 1981 in the hands of police, who chased and shot him. It is said that people of Malabon wept openly because of the incident. He was 23 years old. Number 8. Octavia Ongoi Parojinog Sr. The first leader, chosen directly by the military, was Octavia Ongoi Parojinog. We'd usually remember the Curitong Baileng as the unfortunate gang on the receiving end of an alleged police rubout in 1997 in Quezon. Curitong Baileng was said to be one of the most notorious gangs to have ever come out of Misamis Occidental. To the people in his hometown, however, he was known as the Robin Hood of Lois due to his reported generosity. The Curitong Baileng was later implicated in the deaths of the authorities involved, ostensibly as retaliation for their founder's death. He died at the hands of the authorities who shot him in a botched drug sting inside a local cockpit in 1990. Number 9. Alvin Flores. This one's another one from Cebu, trained and recruited by the Feed ABB. Alex Bonkay Our Brigade. Alvin soon found a way to utilize his newfound skills towards a more lucrative end. Soon linked to a series of daring robberies including the Greenbelt 5 heist in 2009. The media turned the incident into nationwide breaking news. A few weeks later, Alvin Flores was gunned down by the NBI during an operation to capture him. Lastly, number 10. Leo Echegaray was the first Filipino to receive the death penalty after its reinstatement in the Philippines in 1993, some 23 years after the last judicial execution was carried out. Convicted of the crime of raping his own daughter several times, less than a month later, Akigari was executed via lethal injection on February 5, 1999. His last words to have been, "Esbayan ng Pilipino, patawarin ako sa kasalanang ipinaratang ninyo sa akin. Pilipino, Pinatwy ng kapwa Pilipino. People of the Philippines, forgive me of the sin which you have accused me, a Filipino, killed by fellow Filipinos."